Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to Prime R, the first edition for this week. We are very sorry for the late start. We had some issues with machines, and we thank God that all is well and that we're ready to unveil what was prepared for tonight's edition. We're going to be looking first at what is not working with Cameroon's football, and also at going to be looking at what the civil society can do to educate Cameroonians to be politically involved and engaged. We are discussing this with panelists who are already in the house. Dr. Dimancho is in the house with me. We are glad to have you with us.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine.
Leonard and many others viewers who are presently on this particular agenda. We did everything, and every time we are thinking the Cameroonian football has gone down the lane to be one of the most respected federations around the world. But today we have just realized that Cameroonian football is not different from any other institution in Cameroon, which means that every institution people have been thinking that should be ruled by politics, and that political agents always thinking they should find their way every time there is a problem in any sector of the economy. Meaning the problems faced by Fecafoot are generally the problem faced by every Cameroonian. We are talking of individualism and more of central egoistic standard that people think others cannot do better and that they are the lone to do that. Fecafoot President Samuel Eto'o was one of those persons that Cameroonians have always loved and will continue to love. A few have been thinking that he's not doing well and that they can do better than him. This is a president that has taken the federation only for 2 years, and many political agents are thinking that what they have not done for a century in political power could be fixed in just 24 months. This can never be possible. So we are right back here to talk about the problems of Fecafoot and why not how we can fix it. We can fix it by allowing an elected authority and respect his mandate. For all those who are not happy with what the president Samuel Eto'o is doing, it is needful that they wait until after the expiration of the mandate. This is really prime hour, and we will continue to educate many Cameroonians on what is supposed to be done. Many have been thinking that Eto'o is so proud, like others said, and that he's so arrogant. How does somebody's pride and arrogance affect the management of the federation that is now even more spoken well over than any other federation in Cameroon? We just witnessed the frustration of the handball players that were abandoned to themselves and the refusal of visas. And I'm telling you, this is not still even making news. Few information, patches of information provided on social media platform, others are not even talking about it. The same minister that stood firm on the same day to install the new head coach that he recruited without consultation of the president of Fecafoot as stipulated by the laws of the land is still to make a statement why the handball players were not and have not been capable of traveling to Hungary. It is a shame, it is a pity. Why this huddle and fighting over Fecafoot done where other federations are crumbling?
We are told that they were refused visas. I'm not sure it's the ministry that refused them visas, but the country, I'm sure, the country that they were supposed to visit. We also are glad to have you this evening, Mr. Ndiwum.
Thank you very much, Kum Leonard. Greetings to Dr. Ako, John Ako, and Tah Mai Javis. Greetings to all the viewers of Prime R. It's a pleasure to be here today. I just want to cue from where Doctor ended, that every human being in his own endeavor is never error-free. And I don't want to believe that those who have been failing Cameroon for 42 years should be the lesson givers to Samuel Eto'o. I am a testimony. I'm not his fan. I've never been his fan. Not because I hate him, maybe for some reason. But I'm one of the people who can testify that we have young girls from Boyo today who play in the first division, this thing in Cameroon, and they are being paid for the first time. A thing that never happened when Eto'o was not there. I want to think that we have come of age. Let's leave every expert in his domain. What Eto'o is doing, people are evaluating Eto'o for being in the office for 2 years. And the same people have been in different and various offices in Cameroon for more than 30 years without anything to show for Cameroonians. I want to think this bias has to come to an end. So I take this opportunity tonight to even encourage Eto'o. If he was to go in as a candidate for the Eto'o this year, I'll be his fan and I'll be his campaign manager. But I don't understand why. And you look at it very well, Mr. Leo. The few people who are trying to boo at him are those people who are so much tied to a particular age. So we want to think that Eto'o has been doing a great job and let him have the courage to continue to do a good job. Because Cameroon football is one of the things that has sold Cameroon's image positively to the whole world. And just at his time, before he came in, there were a lot of scandals in Fecafoot, but people were not talking about it. Today, like Doc said, the female team were refused certain. We don't know what happened because we are still verifying, but it is less of news making to many people. Nobody is talking about it. But all Eto'o image caused people to talk for the whole week. I don't think that they are serious. So let Eto'o remain there. And I want to applaud his courage for standing up for the truth and upholding the rules of his institution.
I've not yet asked a question. Thank you for coming. Tah Mai Javis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kum. It's been a very busy time in the nation as we are moving towards preparing people to register. At the same time, Fecafoot is trying to restructure, and at the same time, we are seeing that the nation is kind of very divided as far as sport is concerned. One thing we must acknowledge is that if Cameroon is known by its name, football has contributed greatly in the early 90s and 80s and moving right to the 2000s. And so therefore, it is a very, very difficult moment also for those football lovers, especially those who thought that things will continue to be the way they have always been so that they can continue to eat money. And so we are having this debacle is because one person is trying to make things right, others are now seeing that making it right will move food from their table, and so therefore they need to fight it. However, I want to wish a special good evening to the Bishop of Boya, His Lordship Michael Bibi, as the diocese will be preparing to celebrate the 50th anniversary, that's on Thursday. And also special good evening to the President of CUIB, Reverend Father Bartholomew Anyaw, and the entire faculty, staff and students.
Okay, Dr. Ako, John Ako, with looking at what needs to be done to fix Cameroon's football. We understand what is happening. We have a coach that has not been sanctioned or endorsed by Fecafoot. It is true that some backdoor negotiations may be ongoing, though others say that the contract may be annulled. But what is not right with our football, especially since Samuel Eto'o took the helm of Fecafoot?
Yeah, like I said at my first opening, there is nothing we can believe that is not right. Everything is right. Everything is right when you go down.
But our performance out there in the Côte d'Ivoire was not the best.
Yes, it wasn't the best because, yes, many have been hoping and waiting to see Lions at that particular level that we have always been. I want to take you back to an era. In the years 2000, 2003, the Lions were at the top because we had a coach they called Pierre Luchang, who took over a squad that did nothing at the World Cup in 1998 in France that was formed by another Frenchman, Claude Leroy. But when we came for after the World Cup, which we complained, you realize that the year 2000, 2003 became the best. Some people said Pierre Luchang inherited a team that was already constructed by another person. And what happened? After those brilliant years, in 2003, Cameroonians still clamor that Pierre Luchang was using the team for business. Can you imagine? People were no longer talking that he was not performant in the national team, but that he's now using the national team as a stage to sell players. This caused a non-renewal of his contract, but instead, he was removed as the head coach and appointed as the sporting director of the national team. This is not what we recruited as a person. This Samuel Eto'o that came in 2001 on the eve of 2002 Nation Cup, and we realized it wasn't equally like Cameroonians still clamor that Conceição, that has won a third position at the African Nation Cup, was not still the very best. and that they needed a new coach. Etofis inheriting Fecafoot, very young. There was a need to believe local pundits who say it is time for us to give an opportunity to a local technician. And so Rigobert Song was presented as one of the best. He recruited some. And remember what I said yet sometime. I said it's going to be difficult. Will Cameroonians be patient like they quote the example of Aliou Cissé in Senegal, because they waited for over 6 years to win the first trophy with the same leader. Now, Song inherited the team halfway 6 months after. We are waiting results. Not that we are only waiting results. Instead of trying to pick out where the errors are coming from, we indict every error on Fecafoot on Samuel Etofis. Samuel Etofis is not the coach, but everybody still believes that he is the one choosing players. We have known errors here where there is a policy on balancing forces in football, meaning whether in the west or southwest there are no players, there is a need for 1 or 2 anglophones to be present. Whether there is no player in the north, there is a need for 1 Cotton Sport player to be at the federation. We are trying to build, and that's what he said. After the era of Conceição, Rigobert Song was going to construct a team. Likewise, we waited for results. Just after 2 years, the results did not come. And Song continued telling Cameroonians that he was trying to build and identify the team. That his contract was not still renewed. Where is the problem? We are going to get in with a new order in choosing a new coach. There are texts. The 2015 Fecafoot Minister of Higher Education organization stated clearly that for the appointment of the national team coaches, in fact, Team A, that there shall be consultation between the Fecafoot and the Ministry of Higher Education. And we have seen that several times. Several times, those who applied for the position, the lists are sent to Fecafoot, and then Fecafoot make a selection of maybe shortlisted coaches and send back now to the Ministry of Higher Education, to the Ministry of Youth and Sport to check which one might be the best. If this is the process, why didn't we get the same problem when Rigobert Song took over? And today we are having the problem at the signature of Mark Brace. It means that the rules were not followed. And one of the things I want us to understand, and many others, is that Cameroonians don't know that there is a need to respect institutions than respecting individuals. Because what is happening is that in Cameroon, some people are stronger than institutions. And thank God we have that individual that will not allow his own institution to be trampled upon or walked over. Otherwise, if it was another Cameroonian, it would have been that you should respect state hierarchy. And that, as the Ministry of Higher Education has stated, that from high instruction, because all the appointments, you find high instructions from the President of the Republic, His Excellency. That is why we have chosen this one. Meaning, the individual is more than the institution. And Samuel Eto'o has just come and he said, people should let him work his ideas, put down what he has planned for Cameroonian football. And like Mr. Ndiwum just said, I want to equally reiterate, for the first time, we know that we have 10th Division League that is going on. 10th Division League. That we have 1st Division, 2nd Division, 3rd Division, they are going on well. That we have the female Premier League, and we have 2nd and even 3rd League. That we have seen the rising of local female footballers, even at the level of the national team. We used to hear players when they are coming maybe from Britain, United Kingdom, or Sweden, Norway, and the rest. Today, we are proud that the girl that is wearing number 9 is coming from Eden Girls, or this one is coming from our Female Football Academy. This is something to be applauded. And broadcasting the league every weekend, at least, a national league game is on national media. It has never and was not happening. There is a lot that has been done. But then, I said, those politicians that after the coming of Eto'o to power, they are thinking that they are losing it. What they were supposed to be stealing and amassing, which we don't know, is now governed and properly managed by an individual. There is need for politicians to stay out of football, because a lot of those who make the agenda propagating false information and cook negative image about Samuel Eto'o are mostly politicians that are thinking that they were the ones sponsoring the football. Allow the technocrats to manage their domain. For in everything, there's a need for specialists. Every specialized agent is supposed to execute a task that belongs to his domain and not strangers.
Okay. Some persons actually think that Samuel Eto'o could have been a better player, but not a good manager.
Well, every opinion counts. They could be right, they could be wrong. But let's ask what those people who think that he could not have been a good manager have done in their own little corner. Because it's just like, I don't know if it's too much stardom that Samuel Eto'o is having, because even those who can barely feed twice a day, they concentrate enough energy on talking about Samuel Eto'o. However, I said he was not my fan. My focus is on the management of Fecafoot. I want to think Cameroon has been having dismal performances, but to what extent can we place that squarely on Eto'o? When in the other editions of the Nations Cup, Cameroon was never performing well. I don't think it was Samuel Eto'o.
The ones they never even qualified.
They're the ones
for
that
the Nation Cup.
Let's talk about the case of World Cup in South Africa 2010, and let's talk about the case of 2014.
In Brazil.
Cameroon presented the worst results at the World Cup.
Not the 32nd team.
Yes, in Brazil. Samuel Eto'o, 0 point, with the highest red cards recorded in that tournament. Yet people did not make this kind of noise they are making today. I think there is a kind of jealousy. I don't want to say hatred, because there's a difference between talking about somebody because you hate the person and talking about somebody out of jealousy. Some even went as far as saying that he came over to Fecafoot because all his money is finished and he wants to use Fecafoot to make out some money. And I kept asking myself, with the projects that Samuel Eto'o carries out, for those who visited the father's burial at Ngambe, they can give a testimony of what the guy has done there. I don't think it is Fecafoot that constructed what he did there. So I think Cameroonians are very used to chasing soft targets while they live. You say people have been there for years destroying Cameroon in front of us, before our very eyes. Nobody has the courage to talk. Samuel Eto'o, who is trying to inject into Fecafoot different programs that can, in the long run, because I don't even think that Samuel Eto'o's dream or goals are that he should realize them now. He is preparing something for the future, and not only now, Mr. Leo. But people are just, and the worst thing is that even those who say it, when you ask them just one question, how would you have expected Samuel Eto'o to manage Fecafoot? They don't tell you. We have seen situations in this country where the Lions are at the airport. There is no way to leave the airport because their match bonuses have not been given.
Plane, flight ticket have not been paid.
So I don't know. I don't think since Samuel Eto'o came in, there has been a situation where the Lions have been stopped at the airport because they don't have their bonuses whatsoever. So I want to think that, like many other people have been saying, politicians want, some of them are very angry, and you know that when this man came in, he fought for his victory not to be stolen. That's the first point where we should start from. Those who expected to side with the other camp and who actually sided with the other camp and ended up failing, you don't expect them to be happy. But the good thing is that he's a courageous man. He faces his fights. He goes on. People are doing the talking and he's doing the walking. People are doing gossips, making noise, and he's in, but with action. So I think, even if I've never been his fan, this is the first time that I think what people are doing or saying against Eto'o, there's a lot of injustice in it. Because I think there are people better placed in this country. How many ministers of sport in this country have set up structures that could be very much befitting for Cameroonians than Samuel Eto'o? How many of them have ever thought that they could create an opportunity for generational football? Because what I think Eto'o is doing now is for generations to come. These people sit there, they think of their mandate, they don't think of transition in football. And that is where the challenge is coming from, because they are like thinking, if they permit Eto'o to do so much, Cameroonians will come to discover that they were there not for Cameroonian football, but for their own selves and their selfish interest. So I think people should need to go back to the drawing board,
Okay.
and let the technocrats do their job.
Yes, Samuel Eto'o has been there. The cry for almost everybody at the time was Rigobert Song. Rigobert Song is not qualified. Rigobert Song is no longer there. Was he really the problem also?
Song was not a problem, and Song has never been a problem. If you look at like Dr. Ako said, the period of 2000s right up to 2003 was a period where we saw good communication in the team. We saw the period where there was no infighting in the team. We saw the period where there was respect of hierarchy. Also saw the period where Cameroonians supported their coach and also supported their players. But now when you move from that 2000, the question should be what happened after 2003? That is the question. And because politics came into place, and because we felt that those who were there probably were eating and were not eating, and so it's time for us to come and eat. As when politics came into place, we started thinking that the problem is the coach. The problem is the coach. Let us look at what the record. Look at Song's record, and look at the record we have had for World Cup. Cameroon became the first country to beat Brazil in a FIFA World Cup competition. Cameroon did not come out with 2 points in this last. The first African country. We came with 4 points. We left Brazil the last World Cup with 4 points, which is a good start. Looking at our 3 last participations in 2014, in 2010. Look at the participation. Is the problem Song? No. Look at our qualification to World Cup. Look at what happened in Algeria. Was the problem Song? No. The thing is, the problem has not and will never be Song. It's politics, and it's time for politicians to allow football to footballers, and politicians to control to focus on politics. I see the fact that they are afraid of Eto'o's growing popularity, because the problem is if Fecafoot is okay, stabilized, what next for Eto'o? Political ambition. So why don't we now start breaking down his wins and ensure that we depopularize him and make sure that the masses see that he's not that good. So it is a political strategy, because we are moving. Let's ask a question. Why is it that before the eve of we are moving towards the eve of an election season, you will not only see Eto'o alone? Just wait. Let's get to October this year. You start seeing other high-profile persons being called into other exigencies. One thing we must understand is that Song played his role. Like Aliou Cissé in Senegal. Senegalese gave Aliou Cissé 6 years. So Aliou Cissé, the Nation Cup that they took in Cameroon, he was almost fired. It was like the last time they told him that, okay, just try. And when he took it, he became the alpha and the omega in Senegal. And yet that was when Cameroonians started shouting, we need our own coach, we need our own home coach. The question that we asked Cameroonians was, are you going to be able to be patient enough for that home coach I have been calling? They said, no, we want our own home coach. And behold, their wish was granted. You want your home coach? They said, we want our home coach. Now when someone was appointed, they were jubilating, because they took Aliou Cissé's picture, took Song's picture, said this will show that there will be a result. And now so they were comparing morphology, structure, everything.
They took some unexpected
they expected immediate result. Now this was what happened. Why Song was struggling to build a team. Song took over from Kosisero, and let's not forget that they have been divided in the team at the time when Song took over, and infighting between players. Let's not forget that, because when you have this divide, it plays a key role in psychology. Why Song is trying to put the team together, some other persons are fighting, and we are impatient. When the days, look at what happened. Let me just give you an example. Cameroon defeated Brazil. You saw the way we celebrated like we won World Cup. Did anybody talk about Song? No. It was, oh, thank you, Song, thank you. When we were knocked out of African Cup of Nations.
Song is the worst.
Song is the worst coach. Worst. Even when we at the first round of the African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, when we were almost knocked down, everybody was crucifying Song. As we qualified, the whole city, oh, thank you, Song, you are the best coach. So the aspect of Cameroonian football is that we lack that patience. And the question, as Dr. Ako have said, do we have that patience? And I feel sorry for Brice. I feel very sorry. Just wait, you will see. You see the same people whom they have been using to say non, il y avait la raison. La ministère a déjà dit quelque chose, donc c'est bon, on continue. These same people say, mais pourquoi vous n'avez pas écouté Samuel Eto'o? Samuel Eto'o avait dit ça. These same people, they will say Samuel Eto'o said it that. And so the question is, we are not patient enough. And the same thing we are witnessing in football. I pity the next person if at all there will be that person that will take over from President Biya. I sorry that person, because you see what is happening. There's in the coaches department who will expect that same result. No. So it is an aspect of patience. What to fix in Cameroon's national football? Number one, the Minister of Sports and Physical Education should stay with their policy, respect the policy and procedure. The minister policy and procedure is there to guide the minister to take care of the sporting activity in our secondary schools, high schools, coordinate other events within the municipality. Look at what happened in the mountain race. That's where the Minister of Sport and Physical Education has to get engaged. Look at other sporting areas. We have other mountains. We have Mount Kupe Maniguba. We have other sectors that can be boosted. Look at Douala. We don't have a very good international marathon. Look at those are things that they have to focus on. Look at even the home the university games. How is it even being played? Look at the university game. It's a shadow of itself. That's where focus. What does it represent? Let me ask you, Mr. Allo, for the past 10 years we have been having university games. How many players have we been able to identify the university game? At the level of football, at the level of handball, at the level of volleyball, at the level of basketball, at the level of judo. How many can we say that we took this from university and sent to Olympic Games? How many? That is where the Minister of Sport and Physical Education ought to be focusing on those talents, not just football. Why is everybody looking at football? Because they know that is where they have been eating. You know, this issue of mission, delegation to be sent. When Samuel Eto'o came, those things stopped. And now it is a grudge that, it's a grudge that Samuel Eto'o was actually the one controlling all those things.
One second. in a one forum, I read from a very reputable journalist who happened to be one of the people having bias about Eto'o, and somebody made a response there that gave us reason to think otherwise. That before the coming of Samuel Eto'o, there were some journalists in this country who were taking weekend salaries from Fekafood, who write just some funny articles, and they are being paid for such things. And when Eto'o came in, he blocked such arenas, and that is why they are very angry today. So just to corroborate what you're saying.
Yes.
So today, they are very angry. They don't want to hear anything about Eto'o. They can write any kind of article just to make sure that they depolarize him, as you were saying.
Because I think one thing I'm afraid of is that these people have their card, and Eto'o should not play to their card. Their card is, let us keep this friction. So probably there's a normalization committee. Then we'll bring in our candidates for the normalization committee, and we continue from there. Because that's their card. Because nothing would have stopped the Minister of Higher Education. Let's assume that it was actually sport. Let's assume that it was high instruction, because there are two hypotheses here. Eto'o has made us to look at two hypotheses as researcher. One hypothesis: the high instruction was it from the head of state? That's the first research question. The second research question was, if it was not from the head of state, why is Eto'o, or what is making Eto'o to be firm if actually it's not from the head of state? And this is it. This high instruction Eto'o refusal will not make us to believe that maybe all the high instructions that we have been seeing high instruction are not actual high instruction, because Eto'o is not a child to reject, and he knows the implication, which means that he knows that either it's not coming from high instruction as it should be. One thing we must understand here is that these persons who are struggling, that because I see they are heading towards normalization. That's their plan. When there's normalization, they see that Eto'o powers will be broken down, and so therefore now they have the power to determine who becomes president of Fekafood, and that should not be the case. The Minister of Sport with all due respect was supposed to call Eto'o, even if the high instruction has come, call Eto'o as the president of Fekafood. Dear Samuel Eto'o, please, this is what the head of state has said. These are the coaches that you presented, and this we think we cannot pay these coaches on this amount, so we are proposing this alternative. Take this person's file, go and study them, and give us your feedback, and that is it. But you know that Eto'o heard the same news as we all heard about appointment, and what's still the technical bench? Who appoints the technical bench now? According to the text, who pays the technical bench? Remember, there is not a problem, because only the coach signed the contract. What of the other appointees? Because they are supposed to sign Fekafood, in collaboration with Food. Now they have not signed. Who paid them?
Dr. Ako, we almost everybody is so interested in accountability from Food. Has this always been the case? And why? I really want to understand that everybody wants to see accountability at Food. I don't know why we don't ask for same accountability from our mayors, from almost all projects. Yes, it shows that Cameroonians are passionate and love football too much.
No, you know, there is this saying that when you have a nation with more football, then the nation is made more of illiterates.
Okay.
Somebody wrote that statement somewhere, and it has become a rule. Which means I wrote a text on my Facebook page. It's over 6 weeks now, before even the problem. When I started getting a lot of the talking about it too, I asked, look at the town of Douala, we discuss about the roads, and you see what they are trying to do these days. They are doing as if they discovered that the roads were broken but now. And so trying to inconvenience every citizen, which is good. What of the health? We know how many babies are missing in Cameroon, how many children have died or women died in doubtful situation. Reports, we are still awaiting those reports just from those incidents. Some people that have been assassinated from Douala, Yaoundé, and all over the country, we are still waiting for the reports. But the energy I see people put on Samuel Eto'o will tell you that it is not just about Eto'o again, but that those who want to make ends out of it, and that by all costs he should leave. Because the order he's going to put down is that if there is none like him, you will not inherit Fecafoot again. And why can't we just respect his mandate? I mean, the mandate of an elected official. When you be called up for election, try take on your campaign from there. When have we asked for accountability? At the president of the National Assembly or the president of the Senate? When we want to make accountability in a republic, we are going to ask President Paul Biya to pass into law Article 66. It starts with the declaration of individual assets, so that we should know that before you took office, this is what was, and after office, this is what is. So if we don't have this, why is Eto'o's case? We know of Iya Mohammed, how long, how many years he spent in Fecafoot, even when cumulatively he was a director of another state institution in the north. Nobody even made noise about that. That there is no need for you to be. You cannot. The law has said you cannot accumulate more than one at state position. But Iya Mohammed ruled it well. Non-challenge. Because the same scammers were all in that network. When the network was destroyed, you realize that they brought the first normalization committee. They brought in Tombi Aroko. It was not well with them. They fought again well for the second normalization committee. Now they brought Mbonjoya. Somewhere, Mbonjoya played, but he fought that because his mandate was leaving with a lot of worries. Eto'o did not fight him on the press. We never saw that. He went for election. Ballot. Yes, that this time, me too, I want to be president. And this is the nation we are trying to construct. When people think that their wishes and their ideas on nation building, the state should give them that opportunity to apply or implement what they think they have in their mind. Yes, people will make all the noise. People are asking Eto'o because maybe somewhere they are no longer eating. But I'm happy I see a lot of sponsorship now in Cameroonian football. Nobody is talking about that one.
No,
when the women come out to play the league, you see Guinness.
But many persons, what their concern is accountability. How much came in? Tell us how much came in.
Yes, that is what we are asking here. When have they asked from the director of Camwater that how much have you made? That in you, how much have you made? That you at Camtel, how much have we made this year? MTN has told them how much they have made and how they have used. So why Eto'o? That's what we're asking. So somebody will tell you that it is witch hunting. But it's already doing a lot. Mr. Ndiwum quoted some few cases. Very rare. The plane has not abandoned lions again in Mozambique like he used to do. Prim. That's what I'm saying. That they got that there's no hotel, they don't have a hotel to live. People should be at least proud of something. They should be proud of something.
You saw what happened in this last AFCON. When the players were about to check in, everyone had a tennis, everything.
Everybody is well.
Everything was okay.
What I'm asking is, why are Cameroonians not accounting the victories of Eto'o? Why is nobody taking also on a newspaper Samuel Eto'o Sauveur the football Cameroonais? Why are we not saying that? Because the witches have based on negative angle what people want to hear. This same question you are asking for accountability is what people will ask you that if I vote today, what will change? Get that idea. And you know that idea seems sponsored by the other camp. If you ask the question, if I vote today, what will change? The CPDM people, they are very happy. And I'm telling you that those who never voted, CPDM is happy that don't even vote. And the idea we have believed now is that the day they start registering, I see the fever is going on. Some people are already afraid by what is happening. The way people are going to take their voters card. There's already, I'm getting a lot of echo. This is what is happening in Fekafood. Something is happening which was not happening before. We never knew how, if this is how people were fighting presidents of Fekafood, how did it took Iya Mohammed to accumulate positions and go on with Fekafood?
On challenge.
You mentioned after 2002, we have never won the Nation Cup until 2017. What were the stakes? Where were the newspapers? What were they writing? So it is time, like I said, yes, let's give Samuel Eto'o a chance. Let that young man sleep quietly on his bed, get up in the morning and think of how the headquarters of Fekafood will be improved. Because Fekafood is now lodging in one small funny building in Yaoundé. When you go to places and federations all over Africa, you realize that where they are is a shameful thing. When I saw the headquarters of the Federation of South Africa, I started lamenting whether in Cameroon what we are practicing, where even the former general or the acting general, Semenge, where he lodged as an office, if you see the place, really, you will not believe that really this is where our general comes for work. So there is a need to give Samuel Eto'o that time, and we stop asking negative questions. At times, even the Bible is clear on this. If you see somebody on a mission, if you don't have anything positive to offer, stay quiet. Let's give him his time. For those who are preparing to challenge him, wait a time of election and come and challenge with the same delegates and everything. And the shocking truth, what some of us are already saying, is that maybe we need to write an official letter to Samuel Eto'o, l'appel de peuple, that you can be our next president comes 2025.
Yeah, but we need harmony. We have seen what the minister has done. He's already appointed a new technical team for Cameroon's football Lions, and we are hoping that there is peace between Fekafood and this new technical team, so that our football can move places. Because we have 2025, we have
qualifiers right ahead of us, not from June. And you know, I decided to talk about this topic today because you are talking about Samuel Eto'o. Because for a very long time, I've not had any interest talking about football in Cameroon. It's one of the least things I should even be talking about. But I'm talking about somebody I've seen his charisma in making things go forward. But football in general, I don't think Cameroon has numerous problems that should be discussed other than football as far as I'm concerned. But I'm talking this one touched because I've seen somebody who wants to put something where nobody ever tried to put it. Somebody who is innovative more than those, his predecessors who were there. I have seen somebody who has shown passion in taking a career like any other person who loves the career to push it forward. Yet the detractors are more than the admirers. These admirers, I also blame them for being silent. I want to think in a normal country, people would have come out clearly and in the open to state that no, enough is enough. Like I said, no human being is error-free in his endeavors. And I don't think Eto'o was supposed to be God. So that everybody should be, even God, not everybody is happy about. There are people who say God does not exist, which means that not everybody is happy about God. Even their own creator, they have said he does not exist. So I don't understand how people want to make Eto'o, or they needed some spirits to come and canonize Eto'o as a saint before they can believe in him. So I think, in all honesty, Eto'o's leadership is what the senior citizens in Cameroon should be copying from him without any iota of shame. Because he has proven that he stands for what he says and he says what he stands for. Which is irritating the old folks who have not been used to being accountable to the people. The simple fact that these people do not want Eto'o, the first factor is that This young man wants to make Cameroonians to believe that leadership could be taken the other way. Because we're already used to a situation where we know that if my father was called, I will be called. Mumunjoya left the office. You see where he is today. That's just a glaring example. We mean they were ruling by names and not by efficiency.
Not by competence.
Not by competence. Their efficiency was not even what was putting them there. Their names and their images, their status quo is what was keeping them there. Now Eto'o has come in with, like I said, people who used to go there. Yes, a no name
has invested the house.
And you see, if I think it's even a plus that they are criticizing him every day. It's a plus because calling his name every day is giving him the popularity that we want. Those who were there, I could go for 5 years without calling the name of any president of African Cameroon, without talking football. If today I've been pushed to the wall to talk, is because at least I'm seeing something visible. And I think from councillors, mayors, governors, right to Itudi, where Mr. Biya is, they should learn leadership from Mr. Eto'o. That is, when you are a leader with passion, you cry when the results are not forthcoming. You have seen him right into the dressing room of the Lions, talking, encouraging, be angry, which is part of leadership from somebody who needs results. How many leaders in Cameroon have been very close to their people? We even have ghost leaders who have offices in Cameroon that they go for months without ever sitting in their offices. But since Samuel Eto'o, others claim that he's everywhere. He has hijacked the role of the coach. He's the coach at the same time, and he is the president of Ekafoot, and so what? When you want results, you have to be everywhere. I think that is just all I can see.
Okay, that is all you can say. But we need results. How do we get both the ministry and Fecafoot to get to understanding so that we prepare for coming competitions?
The first thing is we cannot honestly prepare to fail, because if you look at those appointed, the technical bench, some members there were members in which they were part of Conceição team, and so when Eto'o came in, they were not happy that Eto'o took them out, and now they have been brought back to work with the same Fecafoot whom they are. We cannot be indifferent to the reality. The truth stare at us. And so you have asked a question: how do we reconcile this side? The truth is, reconciliation first needs to come by respecting of text. And now we should give the olive branch. I think the Ministry of Sports should go to Fecafoot or call Fecafoot for a dialogue. On this note, it will still be difficult, but the truth is, where Fecafoot is supposed to act, they should give Fecafoot the red feather to act. Where the Minister of Sport need to act, the Minister of Sport should act.
Let division of labor be respected.
There should be division of labor. Because one of the things that you have asked, how do we reconcile? I think that reconciliation at this level now will now be determined by the Minister of Sport, because the Minister of Sport is what have the knife and the yam at this moment. Because Fecafoot has made it clear that they don't recognize, except until now, they don't recognize effectively the appointment of the coach. Now, if they don't recognize, what will make them recognize it? It only comes from dialogue and negotiation. And now, okay, what do we go from here? Okay, we maintain your coach, but your technical bench, we get our technical bench. That could be one of the conditions which you can easily get reconciliation, because at this level now, imagine that someone whom you took out a coach and is angry that you took out their coach and you moved them out, and that person has been appointed to come and work back with you. There are two ways. That person may either come to sabotage you, or the person may come to want to prove to you that I told you I was stronger, that you cannot do me anything, and does whatever he or she cares. And that we cannot be indifferent to this reality. One of the questions you ask is, why do they ask for accountability? Let me give you a clear answer. Because Eto'o said he will not collect salary in Fecafoot, that is going to work without salary. And these people are asking, if you say you are working without salary, it means that there must be something big that you are eating there. But they fail to understand that You can work without salary and eat nothing because you have a vision and you have a purpose. You are leaving a legacy and you are not living for your family. Eto'o is that kind of person. Ndiwum is a generational leader. Generational leader are those who think about the future. Look like China, China and the rest. When they give us loan that will pay in the next 100 years. Yes. But let me ask, those who give out that loan, can they live up to 100 years? They give you loan now that they know their children in the next 100 years will collect the loan. But now our own receiver, our own loan taker, take that loan and leave it as though that 100 years is now they consume all the money. And now we don't even see. So now what Eto'o is trying to do is that let me set the foundation. Let us look at this football in the next 30 years. And look at first we had Ballon d'Or, Cameroon Ballon d'Or for the first time. And it has been making wave. Cameroon Ballon d'Or, we had 2 editions of Cameroon Ballon d'Or. Is that not accountability? Second, you look at the playoffs. Look how the different stadiums they are active. People go to watch matches. You see, social media is talking about playoff. You see, people are buying jerseys. Myself, I want to go and buy a Opopo jersey. I want to go and buy because of the too much heat and flamboyance you see. But before, I could not even dare to buy a Cameroonian jersey. I called somebody that, please, I need an Opopo jersey. Why? Because I see the swag, the flamboyant nature in it. Do you need accountability? Because these people feel that because Eto'o has decided that he will not receive salary, it means that there must be something there that is eating big. Let me ask, the Pavilion Hotel, was it Fekafu that built it? God gave Eto'o money. The Pavilion, not hotel, rather the medical Pavilion Center. Eto'o, was it the medical? You look at a lot of achievement that Eto'o has done, which doesn't need the money. We are not saying that Eto'o does not have problems.
Away from Eto'o, how do we fix our football?
One of the way to fix our football is that we must engage in local talent hunting. All the activities of our university. For example, let's start from primary school. Primary school has FENASCO B. Primary school has FENASCO A and FENASCO B. And I want to ask you the question: what have we been able to do with FENASCO A and B? What has been the raison d'etre of it? How many talents have been actually picked from there and sent for further training? And say, okay,
at least even
INJ. Come to the FENASCO B, the one at the secondary school level. Normally in any country, what happens is that when this competition all go, you pick handball, pick, and you send out for further training in preparation for Olympics.
Centers.
Yes, centers. That's scholarship. They are giving scholarship.
And that's the promotion of talent.
And that is how we promote talent. And that's how we fix it. Mr. Leo, see, the difference between us and other nations, how they fix their talent is because they start from the base. And they valorize all the process. Our own is just to make ambience that there was a university game. Wow.
No,
that's all.
There
was this. Wow. How do we fix it? All the competitions that we have in the institution, the different institutions, need to be valorized. We need to come up with scheme. We need to put target that if FENASCO A game is playing this year, we are going to select 10 talent of key areas. Football take 1, handball take 1, basketball take 1 for this year. Next year, if the FENASCO is playing again, we take 1. So you have taken for 5 years, I've taken 5 players, younger players, 5 football players. Those 5 football players, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, as they are going for training, imagine, let's say, the first year, second, third, fourth, they have taken 5 players of FENASCO A for 5 years. You go to FENASCO B, you have taken 5 players. Now, within that time of training, you are sure to have 11 good players that you have collected from the different years who can play very well, that you have sent them for further scholarship. They sent you with basketball, they sent you with handball, they sent you with volleyball, they sent you with athletics, they sent you with judo, they sent you with wrestling. It's all over. Let me also give you another example. You look at this sport that we are talking about. Do you know that Cameroon has a very good African traditional wrestling that has not been valorized? When you go to Boya, you see when the traditional wrestling is being called up.
We are talking football.
I'm just giving you an example.
We are talking about football, please.
I'm looking at valorization here.
From that example, you go to swimming and you go
we are
talking about football.
You cannot. It does not work in isolation.
No. Talk about football, please. We don't have all.
Yeah, we are talking of.
We're talking about football, please.
Bringing up football to the line. And
how do we fix it? Now, there is a problem. There is a problem we are seemingly not seeing. We look at the profile of the coach and the output. We take 1990 and Niponiachi. We say, okay, maybe he had no real big background, but the performance was wonderful at the Italia 90. But we should also consider the team. that we had at the time. And then you look at Pierre Lechant and Wilfried Schiffer, who gave us the Trophy Nations Cup. But look at the quality of the team, because at the time we had all List A players. Yeah. But when you look at the team that we have now, which type of coach suits?
Yeah, you know, Cameroon football has gone global. And the 90 or 42 years of neglect of Cameroonian football really has killed the local league. If you talk of 1990, there you will count that at 90%. The players were all local.
You had the Prevoyans, you had Canon, you had Tonnerre, you had Strong Union, all of them.
Architect, Olympic Omfolie. I can imagine. Even in the 2000, if you see the Olympic squad, Cameroon Olympic squad, you find Sable of Bache, you find Olympic Omfolie, you find Coton Sports,
Yosa. In those good old days, we had Tout-Puissant de l'Ouest, Racine was Panther, they all were very good.
When you look at this, it is just a similar thing. We are talking that politics after some time killed the spirit in Cameroonians. And if we need to build it, in the years after 2003, the havoc that Cameroon faced opted for the creation of ANAFOOT. And ANAFOOT, which we regarded as an institution of football, what happened? Since Ngachi was so performant with the female team, instead of allowing him
to continue
be back in his position to continue building, they took him out. To us, several times when we are appointed to a more position, meaning is decoration. Where is ANAFOOT today? Where is Ngachi? Which means that somewhere we can equally give confidence to a local coach that sits back and get back to the local league and then tap resources from there. Maybe for the junior teams, we might be having a strong APRIM, meaning the local league players who play what we call the SHAN. I mean, if we have a local coach that is permanent and is given a long-term contract, because I want to tell Cameroonians that one of the problems plaguing Cameroonian football is what I call epileptic duration of coaches. They give a coach a contract of 6 months, 12 months. You want results.
Even 2 years.
2 years to produce results. Look at what is happening with Didier Deschamps in places like France. And you look others like the guy in England. Even when England is the almighty of football, ends at the quarter-final of a World Cup, they come back again and the guy continue working. And you see every day there are innovations. Where are the innovations coming from? Because he seated, he watches the league, he moves from one stadium to another, detecting who are these new English boys that are now present. A player we found last year in Europe for qualification, you don't see him again. What are they saying? They say no, in the position of right back, Alexander Arnold is no longer performing. So this guy from Manchester City will take over. Yes. He has not gone back to Germany to make such a dictate. He dictates people from the local league. And so, which means this one will not work in isolation with what Tah Mai talked of hunting local talent. Because if university games were made, all these sporting events were made for dictation of talent. One person, a lot have never known, that has made Cameroonians from the university games was Enoyon. That was the captain of the Boya football team in 2003 university games. That's the one person that history still remains in my mind. Is it possible for Cameroon to dictate talent from university games and have a personal contract with some outstanding academies like Real Madrid and Barcelona? That, okay, we are sending these ones, they are 10 years old now, 12 years old now.
Years.
At 17 years old, we want to see him jump like Kubesi. We want to see him like Yamal Lamine in Barcelona. So we wish to see. It should not be the one that will train, then France time and send it to take back. Because when they are sent, they will be sent from state money. For them to naturalize, they must come back. Send them back to us. And if they cannot play, we'll send them back to you. Then you take them from there. So there is a need to continue building on the objective why these university games, FENASCO A and B games were created. It was a dictation of local talent. And if you dictate such talent, you don't keep it in the cupboard. They have won the medal. This guy could make 100. If in primary school, somebody can cover 100 meters in 17 seconds, and we know that Usain Bolt made it in 9 seconds, meaning this 17-second boy in primary, if he's given the adequate facility, that guy that scored 9 goals with the guy at Opopo when he played playoff last season, he was the top. He was the top. And where has he gone to? Nobody's talking about him. You mentioned the issue of the guy that played the Ballon d'Or.
Yes, the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, the Ballon d'Or.
There was a policy in Cameroon that the best player
automatically graduate for the national team. That's when I saw people like Eric Jamamba from Coton, from Canon Yaoundé, and they were called to the national. People like Atem Valentine, who made a probable deal when for the training with the Lions. This is just all what we needed. But today, people have thrown this to the bush because there is a lot, Mr. Leo, personal interest. When we keep personal interest away, Cameroon football is going to do well. How do you explain that somebody plays in Oman, in Yemen, he is called to the national team, and the highest goal scorer of the Cameroon league is not in
the quarter.
Yemen, Oman, where do they come? Uzbekistan. When you hear the names of the places, we even find where their football history and career is. You cannot find the profile in world football. It's a disgrace. A lot of things is that when you look at white man, they look at us and know that these people are fools. They are coming to this boy because they are found in other countries and they disbelieve the talent back at home. We have a lot of talents. A lot of talents. If you take time at 10 university games competition, that's when you know that we need to perfect talents instead. We have abandoned a lot on the street. I watched one interview, let me not cut you. Samuel Eto'o said the time he was leaving Kajis Sport Academy, he was not the best. What happened to the others?
Yes.
That young people, he was the one carrying their boots and know that this grand friend, this senior man is powerful. What happened to them? That's a follow-up of talent. We don't even have that. And now for today, we don't even know where he is, what he's having, what they are doing, and where they are. Because 5 years, 6 years after, we are supposed to be seeing people like Hendrick. Ahead of Hendrick, who just played 2 matches with Brazil and scored 2 goals in the 2 matches. He was spoken online that is another wonderful star from Brazil. Real Madrid has already bought him ahead of time. He has not even finished where he is in Brazil. He has signed a contract already with Real Madrid. Can you imagine? We're also thinking that if not of personal interest and individualism, Douala too should be somewhere in Barcelona now after the Nation Cup. The Douala guy that represented us in the Nation Cup as the youngest player. You cannot have a young player and he doesn't play in the team. Before you take a person of a particular age,
but the guy
has talent.
The guy is proving his worth.
For now,
you have seen his recent matches.
No, yes, with the playoffs, I mean, it's correct.
Okay,
and his output only links to what all of us are agreeing here.
Yes,
we have failed to promote our home talents,
our own players.
And then when we go and lose it outside, we put you on a toe. When we go and lose it outside, we put you on song. It is true that Song was never a trained coach, but if we had follow-up of talents,
no, who says he was not a trained coach? There are people who have been taken to court before.
Reports. That's why I said people. That's what I'm saying.
Song has taken people to court.
UEFA has proven them wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, however, you know we have a policy of communication. A lot of things go underground, and since they are not well communicated,
UEFA has proven wrong that the Song
so
that
you see,
publicly.
I think we need. This is one of the plus that my media prime is having, because you guys give opportunity for a lot of things to be aired out, like some people are writing now. This thing of following up talents in Cameroon has killed Cameroon in every domain.
Every domain.
Why? Because corruption and godfatherism is at the center stage. Like this Douala man they're talking. You saw when they just came back from Cote d'Ivoire, they first said he was to be suspended because of this. That was a way to destabilize him.
They brought issue of age.
They brought issue of age from nowhere.
Since I know Cameroon, honestly, let me not cut you. I've not heard where somebody's age is a problem.
It has become in Cameroon now.
I'm telling you.
I said, I don't know where age came from. Since I know Cameroon League, I don't know whether Cameroon League has an age tag.
Why is there so much scrutiny on
Douala?
No.
On football. Let's talk about football.
Why is there so much scrutiny on football? Everybody, the coach must be scrutinized.
Why is that scrutiny only now during Eto's era?
I said now. I've never heard.
No,
before now, nobody ever talked about that.
That Cameroon League, their players are older, younger, that they don't know their age.
Yes.
Or have 2 nationalities. I've never heard. This is the first time. This will call witch hunting.
No.
Is that age?
Doctor,
I'm not.
Doctor,
Please,
maybe people are genuinely more interested, but the problem now is what also brings.
Why should they only be more interested?
Yes,
in
what brings?
No,
maybe
one question I have got.
Also the Eto'o factor. People expect more from Eto'o.
Yes, since they look for avenues, they look for avenues to see what he has done. Where can we get? I don't know whether Cameroon League has age. That's what I'm first of all asking. I mean, First Division League. I know in First Division there's no issue of age. We might have issues of age at first, second, and third division. Because when you are of a particular age, you are not permitted to play professional football. You are not supposed to be on a contract because the laws of the nation, even those of International Labour Organization, permit that until 18. So even in Europe, when you see they take a boy from 16, they say it's from academy. Academy meaning he's still in school. To tell you that it's not in any official contract. But the young man is going to benefit for bonuses and other prints. Any match won, he gets there. So he's not signing official match, any official contract until 18. But this one in Cameroon was not even on that. It's just to remove the guys out of football, suspend them, that they were not to play any longer. Because I've not even seen that even in Europe.
No,
So
doctor,
one thing,
time it's not you now. Why?
yes, no, one thing I think we should understand.
The radio.
No, I know. What we are doing now is that Cameroonians, if football has to work well, once somebody has a mandate, let's evaluate him by his results,
Okay,
not by the negativity.
That's the question. That's the question I had for you. But just go on.
Yes, I was about saying that if we watch somewhere in Senegal and Alum Sisi succeeded, it's because the people gave him the vote of confidence even when he was failing. They were with him at the time that was the toughest. I think this thing of always wanting for quick results in Cameroon, even with Guardiola, when he went to Manchester City, we all saw the challenges he went through. It took the well-criticized Pep Guardiola and the club management maintained him there. You have seen the results he has given of late. I think Cameroon is a football nation that is respected worldwide. And Cameroon is not, even though people say it's a continent, in a continent of football, they cannot be in a continent of their own. Let what has been tested, validated, and experimented elsewhere be also done in Cameroon. Because if we do not give them time, like Chris or Brice has come in now, don't be surprised that after the qualifiers, they say they should fire him.
They will do it.
Yes, it's possible with Cameroon. If we don't learn to give time,
It started already from his archive when he was appointed. Before he started looking at
so you see that the failure should be shared. It should not be put on Eto'o. I thank God Song is resting now. He should be enjoying.
That is resting. He's taking photos, selfies
and
now.
So I think we need to give them time, Mr. Leo. We need to give them time. And there's a lot of pressure on our players coming from Cameroonians also, which at times I see it really not good. You expect that a player just comes into a team, plays as though he was a former Barcelona player, and when a player does just a small error, it goes, we demoralize these people too much. Football, it needs a lot of psychological stability.
Yeah, he already was hinting on what I wanted to ask you. That okay, this is let's take Fika Food. Fika Food was voted for a 5 years mandate. Eto'o has done 2 years. Yeah, how do we understand what the pressure that is on him even before he goes through his mandate? Why not just allow him to run through, and then at the end of the day tell him that you promised us this and that and that and that, so there is no need for you to stay on. Let's try someone else.
I think, like I said before, the challenge is that Eto'o's mandate has cut off the area where wastage of resources used to go to, and now you see these areas where this wastage of resources used to go to, these people now have now become a liability, and they feel like Eto'o needs to go down. And the reason is because if you look at Eto'o's 2 years, I want us to look at Eto'o's brief successes. He is not a saint, like I said. He has had some failures, and personally I think he also has some issues that I know which he needs to work on. But looking at the global picture, when before Eto'o's 2 years, we did not have Ballon d'Or. We had Ballon d'Or. We have had 2 editions of Ballon d'Or, successful editions of Ballon d'Or. These same people who are criticizing to criticize the Ballon d'Or, the same people, but we do not even have a Ballon d'Or
in the past.
But these same people who tell you that no, the trophy that has been given to this, the medal that has been given to this, they said they were going to give a car. They said, but nowhere in the Ballon d'Or was it announced that those things all are rumors. They said the good thing we are good at. They said, but where is it? The second thing, if you look at what Eto'o has been able to do so far, the prim. Before you hear players say we are not going to play a match because we have not been given our prims. Before, but have you heard about prims within these 2 years? No. Before you hear, they will tell you that even they have not paid for the boarding flight, the boarding ticket of players, and players will be at the airport, they'll wait and wait. Have you heard about this? No. Before, you will hear, they will tell you that it used to be mothers used to beat their children who would say they want to become footballers in Cameroon League. In fact, we looked at those who were playing first division as the people with less of vision. In fact, when somebody tells you that I am a footballer in Cameroon, you just tell that person, take colours, go work. But Eto'o has come. They cannot be proud that some of them have CMPS, their social insurance have been paid, which means that they can play a certain period and retire. They go over retirement and they go and collect their benefit. Today they can be proud that they are monthly income earners. It means that at the end of the month they can actually budget for their family because they receive above 150,000 francs CFA, excluding their March bonuses. Have you heard about those complaints that players used to say will go on strike because they have not been paid locally before? 2 years, no complaint. Who are those complaining now? Club presidents. Club presidents, why? Because there's a policy that they say, okay, you have to justify the money that was given to you. You have to show proof of payment of players. And so they say, no, Eto'o want to control us, blah, 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 blah. Now the players were the one complaining before. Now the players are not complaining again. Now management are complaining. Why? Because the money used to go for personal achievement, and they'll just take a peanut and just pay the few. Those who want to complain, they'll sack them, just drive them. But now, look at the female league. Female league was a shadow of itself. In fact, your girl child will tell you that I want to go and play football. You beat that child. But now Eto'o has come.
The vision.
If look at those who is wearing number 9 of Cameroon female football. Now let's keep that aside. Let us now come looking at the branding of our football of the league. Mr. Kum, I will tell you that I am proud now to say I can actually go and watch a playoff. Unlike before, where you hear that which team is playing, you just see bikes riding, going up and down. But today, you see the merchandise of jerseys everywhere. Yeah. Young Sport Academy is selling, Opopo is selling, Kotopsport is selling, and people are buying. That people cannot buy if there was not that love, that swag. People are buying. Like people buy for Manchester United, people are now buying for Home League. Go now, you see it everywhere. Those are some of the successes. Let's keep that aside. Let's not come now to the teams themselves. Look at the 3rd division. Before, did you even hear about the 3rd division? It was not even something like, but the 3rd division is playing. The 2nd division is playing. You're asking the question, why so much pressure? Why are they asking for accountability within just 2 years? Because where they used to eat, Eto'o has invested the money in these things that have articulated the achievement. And so the money is no longer going to them. Before, they will carry their high-profile delegations to go for African Nation Cup. But now, the delegation that go for African Nation Cup are only those who are essential. For food. What becomes of those who were going for leisure? They are the ones now complaining. Mounting coup d'etat with their girlfriends and the rest. Family members. Now, before, you could hear some group of people at the ministry will be the ones who manage the bonuses of players. And now they'll start cutting. But now that grey is no longer there within players. So some people are not eating. So some people are now angry. And so that's why you see within these 2 years, they are really angry that their source of income has been cut off. And you know, if somebody's source of income is cut off, that person will fight till the last man standing. And that is what we are saying, that we have to look above our individualism. And let us give Eto'o Fecafoot the chance, because I don't want to limit Eto'o, because whatever Eto'o is doing is a Fecafoot work, thanks to their SG, their vice presidents, and the team, the entire Fecafoot. Let us give them the chance. If in 5 years we can now hold them accountable, let us look at Eto'o's campaign speech, and let's even if we want to start holding him accountable, let us look at his campaign promises. His manifesto. What was the manifesto of his team? Have they been able to achieve? Because every manifesto have a long and a short term. That's why if a president is campaigning, the president will tell you, in my next 100 days, these are the things I want to achieve. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's why if a president clocks 100 days, they judge him based on the first 100 days in his short-term policy. Before now, they go to his medium and his long-term policy. But now we want to judge Eto'o based on the long-term policy, and we also fail to look at what he has been able to achieve. None of them criticizing Fecafoot has been able to tell you that this regime promised this, they have failed. This regime promised this, they have failed. This regime promised none. They are always saying that he's arrogant, he's this, Fecafoot is this, Fecafoot is not doing that. Okay, yes, tell us the manifesto, because if campaigns are occurring, President Biya has his manifesto. The same that any other party has their manifesto. Trump in America has his manifesto. Tells you that in the first 100 they will deport this number of people. And he did it. But what is Fecafoot manifesto? Are they respecting it or not? There is a young player currently now in Opopo. He's 14 years or 16 or so. That guy is wonderful. Those are the kind of talent that we think that when you get them, and if you have a local coach that can be able to get to these people, like you quoted, look at the squad that won the 2000 Nations Cup. Let's ask, where were their teams?
From 98.
The squad that won the 2000 Nation Cup, yes, and the 2002. The 2002. Where were they were local players. Most of them were local players.
None was coming from Barcelona.
2000. No, 2000 we had Njita, who was already playing for
Real Madrid.
For Real Madrid. You have, but,
those guys were from 98. Yeah. I said when we look at the history from 98.
We took time to build it.
To build that team. Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, before they moved to those clubs. They moved to those clubs after they had.
By the time we had the Laurent, we have women.
Immediately after the 2000, most of them, after the Nation Cup in Surulere, most of them signed good contracts. Yeah. In European nations.
In Japan.
No, they were already there. They were already there.
Yes, they were there. What
they were already there, please.
No. But before then, where were they coming from? Before they could sign in those teams?
Yes, one of the things I'm saying is, if Cameroon need to progress, Mr. Leo, it's like we need a coach for the local players.
Okay.
A coach for the local players that trains his own team and plays his own competition. And if those competitions, like I said, a competition like that of the Shan, we should know that we are not going there to win the Shan. We want to bring in talent locally. And if this talent is local, we need that vision to give them some time.
But Shan exists.
Yeah, that's why I said Shan is existing. But we are not giving... Who is talking about the coach of Shan? Who even talks about the coach? Do you even know the name? Who is the head of that team? This is what we are saying. Which means it's just a shadow to represent us. But if we give some meaning, that the best player at Shan, whatsoever is happening, let's have that integration. When you look at France, there's something that a lot of us were talking about, we're not talking about it. When you look at the Olympic team, yes, for French team, it's already the future national team of France. Once you are there.
Most of the guys who play for the French national, you can trace them.
Go.
Yeah.
But with us, it's difficult. It's difficult to read. You just see players the next day at the national team. They tell you, no, it was with Panathinaikos in Greece. So,
the people who play Shan for Morocco in Cameroon, 40% of them are at the Moroccan national team that went to the World Cup.
So we ask the question, but what is happening with Cameroon? So the issue is, let's allow this political individual interests away. And as I said, if we need to respect institutions, allow people to do their work. And the policy, there is what we call the plan of action. We should ask ourselves if we are respecting that plan of action. What I'm telling you here, it's an interview that went on one French channel. They were wondering how they could bring a player from a club in Saudi Arabia when they just watched Cameroon awarded the best player of the league, which other media brought to are on that same player. They have been watching the player locally. You are going for a Nation Cup, which means to them the African Nations Cup is a tournament which local players will fit more than European players, because that is their space. That is their space. The commitment in the continent is different from those guys from abroad. A lot of people could see it that people like Zambo and Gisa were not at the top like we see them in their clubs. Because what's happening? When he comes here, he knows that the tournament might end, but let his football not end. He's afraid of any injury that may hamper him.
And that's why he said you should not expect the same me who is playing in Napoli and the same me who is playing in...
Which is right! And we should know that already. When we look at certain teams like South Africa,
yes,
when you look at the performance today, it beats your imagination of West Cameroon. Were those guys more older and younger than Cameroonians? But what? Most of them were locally.
I think the closest we got also was at the Olympic game in Sydney. Look at the squad for the Olympic game in Sydney.
That's what we are saying.
That squad transcended
and we won.
Yes, look at the squad.
That if we have the football team B, there should be A prime national team. If you are playing for Olympic games already and then they say you are 19 years, and you're wearing that number 10, number 9, number 8. We know those key positions. And then you were the chief defender at SEMA Games, or you went for La Francophonie, and you were at... This is what graduates you to move. But we don't even have... I said, I don't know what is happening. Whether it's that we don't follow up, or we are not just interested, we follow our own interests. The moment there is a competition or a tournament to play, people start thinking, my brother is in Switzerland, can you bring him to the national team? He is playing with a... Yeah. So, that is how we see players, and at the end, imagine those who were at the World Cup, for Christ's sake. The guys who played the last match against Brazil, who has not said if Song was conscious enough, Song would have known already that any tournament in Africa, this is my starting 11. Give them the place rest, and then start your replacement.
Because you look at the guy that gave Abubakar the pass.
He was a local player.
Where has he been? Yeah, Ngom.
So
since then, where is Ngom?
Score Ngom for the World Cup. And African nation Ngom was
no longer there.
So the controversy, I said, there is nothing. Like I started at the beginning, the problems affecting Cameroonian football are the problems affecting Cameroon generally. So if we keep away corruption, individualism, and respect institutions, then sanction the people if results don't come. Because we manage somebody according to what we call the plan of action. The moment you were recruited, this is what we give you. Now there should be a body. Like other clubs, when you go to Spain, you have a keyboard of Spanish international players on the same board. But now when they want to call players, they go gradually. If you are not professional this year, you are in third division, you are no longer there. Like people told you the problem. We raised a problem where there was no problem. What was the cause bringing Fabrice on Dua when Onana is on the bench?
I'm telling you.
Because we judge on the other. Where do you carry that comparison? There is a graduation in football and standards have been set already.
The best goalkeeper.
Even if you select Onana, put in the council of even European clubs, people say that he's better than any other body. He did not go to Manchester United from a joke or place point. We have players. Let's give them the confidence too. Like Ndiwum just said, when we give confidence to players, you will tell them that they have a meaning. And you know, you go out with a lot of blockhead because you are friends. You know, even when they are on football camp in international football, tu es au pays, non, tu as fait comment? Tu étais le remplaçant des gars qui étaient en troisième division. It becomes humiliating. It becomes humiliating. When you leave Manchester United, you drop all your duties. Mass bonus. I don't want to tell people. Mass bonus for you playing for Manchester United when you win a game, my brother, is commitment that took those boys to come and play with us. He brought a private jet. He was not paid by Cameroon and went by the same means. You cannot even imagine that. We need to respect individuals. That is the same disrespect we're carrying to it too. Let's respect the players. Let's give them the confidence. Try to respect the coach option. And all institutions at their various levels, Cameroonian football is going to be one of the best.
Okay. We are already late for a second.
But we have to, we have to say something.
Yes. Well, we are just going to use 20 minutes to talk about our second topic for tonight, which has to do with what the civil society can do to boost and bring many more persons to engaging in political activities through education. What should be the key action of most civil societies organizations today as we look forward to next year's elections?
To sensitize the citizens of every country, you must tell them their history. You must tell them what they have been going through. I want to think tonight that Cameroonians, noise and guns have failed to take Mr. Biya and his regime out of it today. Noise and guns have failed to construct the route that have been killing Cameroonians every day. Just evaluate how many persons die in Cameroon of accidents every day. Yet we make noise, and at the end of the day, we expect ghosts to go and vote for us. I think, like I once said, there was also a time that I thought that my vote never counted. But there is a time now that I'm thinking that I'll always die behind my vote. And if I'm saying I want to die behind my vote, it means that, just imagine, Mr. Leo, let's just take these small statistics. We have Amber boys dying in their numbers every day, pushed by the people in the diaspora. What do you think would have happened if every Cameroonian diaspora, be it Anglophone or Francophone, handed a voter's card to the hands of every young Cameroonian? What do you think would have happened if every clergyman handed a voter's card? I'm not saying that they should go and register and give. Educated at least 5 persons per day after first mass, morning mass, afternoon, evening mass. What do you think will become of Cameroon if all these people who were buying guns and bullets given to people to go and kill were giving them the ideas to go after the voters' card? And to do all of this, we have an article in our electoral law, Article 113, which gives us an idea that you can vote and wait until the vote counting is over. You take the results before you go home. Honestly speaking, Cameroonians have not been doing all this
Actively in some areas.
No, I say Cameroonians to a very lesser extent have been doing this. Thank you.
Okay. Somebody says, good evening, everyone in the studio. I'm Divine in Tico. Please, I don't know where Elekam office in Tico is. I want to register. Thank you. I think just meet somebody. Just go. I'm sure.
The Geo's office.
Just go around the Geo's office.
Or the council. Between the Geo's and the council. Elekam is always around those areas.
Yes.
Around where the grandstand is. Maybe you can set the number. We might forward him the office of the Lekam in Tico.
Okay.
We have the plans already.
So before you take the mic, I will say that all of us, like there's a portion in the Bible that says, for all have fallen short the glory of God. We once fell short of the glory of elections in this nation because we gave our rights to a few minority. Today we are calling on Cameroonians to come out massively. And to come out massively, there are 3 things that should be on your mind. I need to get my card. We know that having an ID card in Cameroon is like having a visa to heaven. But those who have, please, take it as a point of duty to get yourself registered. That's one. Recipe, it can go.
Valid.
It's valid. 2, as you register, be ready to vote. Most importantly, defend your vote. There is no way the regime in Yaoundé can steal the votes of 50 million Cameroonians. There's no way. And I'm telling you that the happiest moment in the lives of the CPDM militants and the regime in place is when people are refusing to go and register. Because they know that the number will be very small for them to manipulate or to count. So it is time for us to take our destiny into our hands. And that can only be taken legitimately if we come up with our voters' cards. I am talking, I have mine. I have mine here with me.
Yeah, but the campaign for people to go and vote should not only be to vote the CPDM.
No, yes.
If you love the CPDM,
if I have, I don't care. I don't. Yes, Musalio, I don't care where a candidate comes from. If from the ranks of the CPDM there is a candidate who carries the vision of this nation, I would say that that candidate should be voted. It's a Cameroonian. That's the first thing. I don't care. I don't go. We are non-partisan. I don't care whether it's SDF, CPDM, MRC, or whosoever. We want somebody who is a vision bearer for the nation. Because for so long a time, Cameroon has been governed by chance. Cameroon has been governed by trial and error method. And we want to have a country where we are governed by rules and regulation. We are governed by the rule of law. And that can only happen if governance system is changed. And for the governance system to change, from every indication, guns can never change or affect the governance of any nation. It goes through the ballot. It is true that the system is not as favorable as Cameroonians want, but can we spring a surprise by coming out, everybody, and standing for what belongs to us and fighting for it? This is the time.
Yeah, but the issue is almost everybody is saying that I will not vote because somebody just wrote something that those who are asking persons to register have been paid by the government.
Yes,
and he's asking that, are you going to change the president of the Constitutional Council, which is appointed by the president of the Republic? I don't know how it obtains in other countries. I don't know whether these guys are appointed by the population, but why do people not also think that my registration to vote is going to bring one very intelligent guy in my quarter to become the mayor, one
councillor
to become the
senator, member of parliament.
Are we very comfortable with the state of our
communities? Mr. Kum, the problem here is that we always think there's green out of the fence. You know, many Cameroonians today are celebrating Fahy in Senegal, and they are saying Senegal is better, but they don't know, they have never been to Senegal. They don't know what was the pressure under which Fahy and his team took. They don't also know the strategy Fahy and his team took.
But we forget to know that there was a time where the military came out
when the military came out against the problem. That's Senegal. So yes, that's what I'm getting. They don't know the reality. Let me give you reality. Like that person who said, the president of Constitutional Council, nowhere in the world that the person heading an election committee is appointed by the people. Structures may differ in terms of the appointment process, but it's appointment by the head of state. In Nigeria, the president appoints and sends to parliament, the parliament vet and approve. If the parliament see that the person is not worthy, the parliament asks the president to nominate again. In Kenya, the president nominates and the parliament vet. If the parliament accepts, if the parliament rejects, the parliament call back the president to nominate. All parts of the world, no nation that the president does not nominate. Now, let me give that person clarity. In 2015 in Nigeria, it was Goodluck Ebele Jonathan that was the incumbent. Goodluck appointed the president of INEC, Independent National Election Commission. The president of INEC, all the members of INEC were appointed from Goodluck Jonathan. But Goodluck Jonathan lost the election to President Muhammadu Buhari. Goodluck conceded. In 2017 in Kenya, Chief Justice David Maraga was appointed by President Uhuru Kenyatta, who was an incumbent at the time with William Ruto fighting against Raila Odinga. When they went to court, the court Chief Justice David Maraga, who was appointed by the president, who is an incumbent. Remember, incumbent has powers. Chief Justice Maraga and his team ruled against the president, ruled in favor of the opposition, nullified the election in Kenya in 2017, and said the constitution prevailed. And you know why this happened? Because the people had registered massively, because the people turned out massively, and so there was that pressure that if we don't respect this constitution, the nation would descend into chaos, because they have seen the massive collaboration for the people. Let me come again. Let's go to Liberia between Josh Weah and also Joseph Boakai. Josh Weah is an incumbent who appointed the members of the election committee in Liberia. Josh Weah, who was defeated? Josh Weah, who conceded? Josh Weah. Let's come to Senegal, who appointed all the members of the Constitutional Council. They were appointed by who? Macky Sall. When Macky Sall sought to extend the mandate of his or postpone the election to December, so approximately a year, what happened? The Constitutional Council, his own members that he appointed, without even being vetted, that is, this one is not even vetted, he appointed, ruled against his favor. Do you know why? They did not just rule against his favor because they so much love the constitution, but because they have seen that a lot of youth had registered massively. They have seen that a lot of youth were eager to participate in the election, and if we don't rule in the constitutional favor, we risk descending this nation into chaos, and that is the wish nobody will want. They respected the constitution. Today they are celebrating Fahy. Do you know that it was a pressure from the people because they have seen that the people had registered mass? Come to Cameroon, how many million? How many participated in the last election? About 2-point-something million. For a nation that had about 12 to 13 million eligible voters. So don't compare a system and don't say that nothing will change. As it is often said that we claim that nothing will change is because in favor of a particular person. Let me tell you, the day electricity is seized, that's you taking part in politics. The day you come and meet the traffic in Douala and you stay for 6 hours, that is you taking part in politics. The day you don't have water in your house, that is you, politics doing you. The day you go to the market and the taxi man tells you that you have to pay 500, you say, "Chat, white sound for there." So that is the politics you fail to play. And so therefore, the political decision rests on you whether you want change or not. And I will tell you, in 1992, why there was that pressure was because a lot of people registered massively, and after that, and they participated massively. And a lot of you have been saying that what happened in 1992, my brother, scenarios differ. You were not there. Time changes, and time is a factor. When they call election now, what if tomorrow the president decides to reorganize the system and they say, okay, there's that system that you had wanted, but you are not eligible to vote. You did not register. Register before you start complaining about this. You are not registered and you are complaining. So the pressure you should be doing is go and register, get a lot of people register, get your preferred candidate. All the parties have good persons. I said this and I'll repeat. The leadership of the country is a reflection of the people of that country. It's the people that determine the leadership. If you want to know any leadership of the country, look at the leadership, you know that that's the mentality of the people. And so that's the case in Cameroon, where we just believe nothing will change, nothing will change. And so nothing changes. And you claim that nothing will change. Let me take you again to Malawi. The same thing happened in Malawi. There was a constitutional change in Malawi. Look at President Lazarus Chakwera. Lazarus Chakwera defeated an incumbent, and the incumbent appointed members of the election committee. Let me tell you, dear brothers, friends, for you to effect that change, get your voters card. Most of you are celebrating for it. Some of you are even putting me as status. None of you have voters card. You are praying that, oh God, what happened in Senegal should happen here. It's a lie. Look at the same thing that happened in Nigeria. I must say that we must be able to understand that change can come from the ballot, and it will only come when the bigger the number, the more pressure they see. When you have 10 million active voters, do you think it's easy to manipulate that election? Do you know what 10 million is? If you manipulate, do you know the chaos you will cause in a nation? When you have 10 million, but when you have 2 million, 3 million, how many million of Cameroonians out of 2 million? The total number minus 2 million, the rest are fine, so nothing will change. So dear friends, the voters card is a key, and I want to applaud civil society because they have changed a bit. If you look at what some of them are doing, it's different as before. They should now move to get people to register, and there's that stigmatization. I hate the issue where many people say stigmatize persons of a particular political party. Every political party has its ideal. Politics is not emotion. A lot of us are emotional, and we think that our emotion is what will take us there. And we start complaining, oh, nothing will change, oh, nothing will change. My brother, it's not that your emotion that will cause things to happen. If you think that something will change, if you are that leader, come up in your constituency, pull the people, register them massively, and something will change. All our brothers in diaspora, look at the energy that people are putting. I said this and I am repeating. The same energy you have to cause ghost town to stop. Use that same energy that you say they should go ghost town and it's respect. Use that energy to look for a candidate in your constituency. If you are in Southwest, Northwest, if you have that power to do ghost town, use the power now for election. Pick a candidate that meets your aspiration. Back that candidate. Support that candidate. And give the vision that you want. That candidate will bring change in that municipality, in that constituency. Let us protect our vote. Let us go and register massively and vote for our choice candidates.
Okay, somebody is responding to the person who is asking about the LECAM office in Tico, that it is directly opposite the grandstand.
Yes.
So just go to where the grandstand is. Around there you find, opposite you find the LECAM office, and somebody said he went to a LECAM office in Boya and was sent away. Maybe he went to the regional office. There they don't do.
But they should have just guided him.
Yeah, he said they told him to go opposite the regional delegation of arts and culture. Maybe you went directly.
To the delegation.
Yes, but the office is towards the delegation of culture on to your left before you get there. So maybe you went to some other place. Just go around there, my brother. Be patient, eh? Yeah, but almost everybody says, no, we are not going to register because elections are going to be rigged. Some persons are writing that before that they vote, but the results reflect something else than what they voted for. Do people actually vote? Almost everybody
actually show their voters.
Honestly, Mr. Leonard, a lot of those who carry the agenda don't even have a voters card.
They don't have.
And they have never voted. They took that statement from those who voted.
In 1992.
1992.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I've told them, several times I explained to somebody, far out of the country, the lone election that the CPDM never won is the 1992 election. President Paul Biya has won all
election after 1992.
And I want to tell you that. Don't be a prey of political propaganda that politicians speak to tell you we won, it was not counted well. President Paul Biya and the CBDM have won all elections after 1992. Go and verify it. Any other thing is propaganda. I'm telling Cameroonians. I have made a sample opinion and I realize only 3 out of 10 Cameroonians eligible to vote
have voters card.
And
if you further, only 2 will go and vote.
I am telling you, I made that system with you, Mr.
Yes.
As I told them before we even went to accounting, that 3 out of 10 have voters card. We were 21 in a group.
Yes.
I said, those who have voters card, hands up. Only 5 people have a voters card. And I told them there, those who are not registered, I said, stop complaining. If you can't have a voters card to vote, don't ever complain. Only somebody that voted in an election should complain of rigging. How do you talk of rigging when you have not voted? And you complain 92. Some of you even talk 92, you were not even done. That's a short fact.
Even if they were
some of you said Elekam will cheat election. You have never voted before. So where is your claim? Meaning you join the propaganda. And I've told you people, a vote in Cameroon not casted is a vote casted in favor of the ruling party. If you don't like it, try it. Let's try 2025. Get your voters card. Choose the candidate like others have done in other countries. Let's vote massively and see what is going to happen. Yes. What I know is those people making noise that have never voted, if they vote this time and the vote is taken away, something will take us to another level. Get your card, go to Elekam, get yourself registered. Whether you have just the ID card, the receipt or the receipt for your ID card, go there and register. If you have a photocopy of your ID card that was missing, go there.
Yeah, before it's too late, because by October or something that they vote.
August.
Yeah, but we are talking about political education for political participation and engagement here. Why are people not also told that you, like I said, you may have one guy who is very good in your community who may become a mayor. Why don't you think that you have that responsibility to choose the best mayors, the best MPs? That everybody is focused on.
No, there's something which has gone on. I've said political power and the message in Cameroon was like something for some, and that others are not concerned. I went to somewhere when I told the students gathered there, I said the president of the university council, the student council, can become the parliamentarian for Douala too. As how many students at the university? Your University of Douala has about 53,000 students. The guy won election to be the president of the student council in the university. Carry that your number, get to any Lekam office, register them, put your candidacy for parliamentary election. My brother, you win it. There are parliamentarians in Cameroon with less than 2,000 votes.
Yes.
The children were looking at this. Is the issue in Cameroon is that the youths have been made to reason like you must have gray hair before you go into politics. That is not what we are seeing somewhere. This Attal, prime minister in France, the woman that headed in Finland was 32 years. And why do you think that with such ambition, being inclusive in politics is already making a decision for yourself? Because what you have been fighting for, you can make it work. Why as a parliamentarian? Why as a mayor? What of the list? The councillor. I spoke of councillors. Some people thought I was joking. Do you know the councillor position is one of the greatest positions in Cameroon? The guys are the one in charge of voting of the mayor.
Yes.
And it is normal. They are the guys voting the senators.
Yes.
Senators, mayors, regional councillors. Regional councillors are still voted by councillors. I said, just be you a councillor and sit there quiet and see how the game goes.
And you are the councillor that fight for your quarter, eh?
Because for your constituency, the area you cover, the particular number of persons per constituency. So you are the head.
And you are also eligible for a mayor position.
You are eligible for mayor or its deputy. If the worst come to the worst. So that is the political education we are talking, Mr. Leo. A lot of youths are not even seeing that. Me as the president of the church council, just the Catholic Church, we are talking of the SCON, a lot of those churches. I don't want to call their name. That you are the leader of the choir, a choir that is represented in 7 other regions in Cameroon. Okay, you can ignite a political change.
Doctor,
there's a lot of political education that needs to be done. Because somebody is asking that he registered and voted for the 2018 elections. The voter card is still there. He's asking whether he needs to register again. Sir, there's no need for you to register. You are still going to vote again with it. So a lot of education needs to be done.
There are so many dimensions.
Is not helping
Yes, Mr. Leonard, you permit me pass this message.
Okay.
Yes, I thank my brother, Dr. Dimacho. He made a statement yesterday that has unraveled. Even a pastor called me from Edea because he wrote a message that if you are a pastor, you are a Christian, you are a father, you are a bishop, you are an evangelist, you have been praying for the deliverance of Cameroon, and you are Christians, you are not registered in the voters register, then stop praying for deliverance. You are the problem of Cameroon. Which means that we call on all Christians, all evangelists, all bishops, fathers, those who preach in high communities, in environment, advise your Christians that for us to change Cameroon, we must start by changing the political leadership of all the areas, from mayor to president. I advise them, before taking communion, present your voter's card. Because
it happened in Nigeria, and I don't say
it happened.
Yeah, in Nigeria.
Now, this is somebody who says that, good evening, council and parliament elections are 85% free. I was voted a councillor at the age of 34. People should not complain, but should vote. Charles in Bamenda. Yes, and people don't fail to understand that once at the municipal and those levels, the next day we know who is.
Yes.
Who was.
That's just the next.
No,
after the vote. That night.
Is that night?
No, they need to.
Why they are collating, you have provision.
You already
I mean the proclamation.
Yeah,
at the local level, because
before you leave that place, you know what's wrong.
No, you know. Unofficial. The problem is that take a city, a town like Boya. Boya has
anyway about
so many. You need time to collate. To collate all of them. Yeah.
However, we are telling Cameroonians that the fight for political transition or good governance in Cameroon should not only be fixed at Etudi. I have said this and I will say it many times. Let's forget that something exists as Etudi. Let Etudi become our last target. Can we go back to our immediate communities?
Our villages.
Can we go back to our immediate constituencies? Can we raise these young men with fine brains to become councillors, mayors, parliamentarians, and why not senators? At this level, we will cut the relationship that has been binding strong men against strong institutions in Cameroon, and we will start building strong institutions against strong men in Cameroon. When that must have been done, we must have taken the right track, and from there, Cameroonians will know that the rule of law comes from the people and not from an individual somewhere. Because we have been suffering because somebody somewhere is above the laws of the nation. But if everybody, and this equally goes to all the opposition leaders in Cameroon, they should not only think that their fight is against Etudi. Their fight should begin from the immediate constituencies. I'm calling on the Prince Ekosos, I'm calling on the Barrister Ndiwum Emmanuel and the rest, that they should know that if we can synergize forces to start from our immediate constituencies, that is where the roots of the tree will make the tree to fall. And by making the tree to fall, those who are perching right up there at the apex of the tree will fall automatically. Okay. So that fight against Etudi should stop. Let's start thinking about our constituencies.
Yeah, but is that not also where some opposition leaders miss it? Because almost everybody after the presidential elections, they go to sleep, and we don't see them mobilizing and educating people on the importance of having at least a council, because it is the municipal councillors that are going to elect the council, the mayor, or the city mayor, or the regional councillors. Yeah, and the senators.
Yes, look at what happened in Nigeria when Peter Obi, the Labour Party, came in. The Labour Party came in with a structure to win the presidency, but they failed. What also happened was that they won some states. And now they are capitalizing on the achievement of those states to build for 2024, 25 or 26 rather. Look at what happened in Peter Obi started campaign immediately. He's moving everywhere, and with the governors of those states that they are
won already.
Now go to the same, look at the same thing in Senegal. A lot of people are celebrating. They don't know what happened. Sonko and Faye, where did they meet? After they met, what have they been doing? They have been going from seat to seat, town to town, mobilization for the lengthy period that they have been there. They not just, the people do not just come to know them. Now, to come to our own case, this is it. After 2018, have you seen any of the major political actors again? But this is what they fail to understand. When a political actor will leave, come to Douala, go to Bonamusa the market, go to the church, visit the church, say, I don't come for Salona, I have been this, that. I say, I can't Salona. We call them, they meet the people talk and educate them. They roll for this parliamentarian and so. Let me tell you, you have to tour a nation at least 4 times. That means you have to come to Douala 4 times, and means that you have to be in major level 4 times before an election campaign is officially declared. That's when you come, the people are already used to you. You see the mass, the population. But that is not the case in Cameroon. In case in Cameroon, the opposition, when they come to Douala, they hire bike riders. You know, one thing about Douala is that people would, when there's noise, people gather, and when you see the population, you think that they are beside you. And the truth is, when you say something that's good, they say, whoa. I look at this population, but look at the villages. What we must understand is that the municipal election, the legislative election is 88% transparent. Because at that level, it is Dr. Ako versus Ndiwum Emmanuel. In that same consistency, 90%. All of them have their same people who are mobilizing. They same have all of them have their equal representative to all the police station. For example, it's difficult for an opposition party single-handedly to have representative across all the nation, the police station. But it's easy for an opposition party in a particular constituency municipality to have the number of observers in all the police stations in that municipality and secured, because it is son and daughter versus son and daughter. That one is easy. So when you start at that level, you move now before you start targeting the presidency. But we sadly, our own opposition parties only come for events. Look at Trump. Trump was defeated in 2020. Immediately after 2020, Trump has started his campaign, actively moved from state to state, everywhere, and he eventually won the nomination without attending a debate. Trump has been active from day to day, despite his legal cases. Go to the same thing Peter Obi is doing, but come to Cameroon. Our own, I only go to a social media WhatsApp group, send messages, and they copy from Faid. According to them, what happened in Senegal will happen. I see them holding meetings now. I laugh, because the meetings are not the ones that are voting for you. The people. How many of them have started groundwork? How many?
This is a platform for persons to come and talk to thousands of Cameroonians. They sit and tell you that they are working on their Facebook.
Yes, they are doing right. Yes.
Sincerely, I don't yeah.
You invite them to not come.
At the end of the day, they will be the first persons who boycott election and then come and tell us that the election was stolen.
Because when I get the messages, Cameroonians, many of them do not really understand. When you follow the questions that keep coming. They want to know this, they want to know this, they want to know this. You are a political figure for the past 4 years.
What have you been doing?
What have you been doing? Why have you not been telling people that I want to get, my target is to get this council?
Yes.
My target next year is to get this other council. So that we decide who becomes the next
mayor.
Senators. For this.
Yes.
The whole division.
So, but somebody is also saying that I should bring this topic again. I don't know when, because they say we are not exhausted. That's what some persons are.
Yeah.
Right, so we are out of time.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Leonard, for this opportunity, and my media prime again for making voices, and that Cameroonians are getting already. The coalition of civil societies is what I particularly coordinate now. If you wish to be a member, do not hesitate. We need a network all over the national territory. Even if you are in your village and you bind with this idea of voters registration, get to us so that we can strategize. And maybe you may become the next councillor of that same village. A dream is always a dream, and it becomes a reality when it is implemented. Thank you all for listening, and every time I will always be there with you.
Yeah, somebody's asking that with all what you guys are saying, would there be surveillance cameras? Please, we should take advantage of the mobile and smartphones that we have. So the same day, the same in an hour.
Makisa did that. That was what Makisa used against what?
After 1 hour, we can know who was. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. It's a pleasure. The trend has just taken off, and I think where it shall end will only be where Cameroonians' hope must have been realized, and that is in 2025 and beyond. Because what we have started now, it is for other generations to reshape the political landscape of Cameroon that has been sinking for so long a time.
Okay, I think we need to send a message more to parents. There are many youths who love politics and want to venture, but have been given ultimatum by their parents to never dare or they are disowned. Parents keep prohibiting their children because of fear of losing them. Probably there will be the element of surprise, reason why they are not coming on the platform. Okay, yes, thank you for coming.
You are losing them already. Roads, if they are bad, you are losing them. Hospital, if they are not good, you are losing them. Electricity, if you don't have, you are losing them. Unemployment, if it is high, you are losing them. So why are you afraid of losing them? Thank you, Mr. Liu. Let them go and register, because failing to act is acting not to fail.
Okay, we want to thank you all who took time off to watch this edition of Prime Hour. Thank you to you, Eli and Desmond, and to you, Tabi Tambe Brian, for supervision. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.